Did already do a mic check? All right. On June 29th at approximately 1 p.m., Kootenai County was touched by evil, tragedy, and heroism. This was a premeditated ambush, a pure act of evil against the people we look to for help. The suspect chose an area heavily treed, heavily brushed, and he had high ground advantage. This investigation is active and in its early stage. Some components of this investigation are not yet complete or still unknown. Some scene details will not be discussed. Period. Our hearts are with the families who will be forever changed by this horrific act of violence. On June 29th at approximately 1 p.m., the suspect committed arson by lighting a series of fires to initiate a response from local fire departments. We know this based on evidence at the scene. We know this, he had gas in his possession, he had small compact lighters, and he had a flint fire starter, and additional evidence to be discussed later. At approximately 1:24 p.m., the sheriff's office received a 911 call regarding a fire on Canfield Mountain. The caller was not the suspect, so we've determined that there are two separate individuals. At approximately 1:40 p.m., firefighters asked the suspect to move his truck. The contact is being described as confrontational. At approximately 1:50 p.m., the suspect, who had lied in wait, intentionally attempted to murder Dave Tisdale, a firefighter for the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. Within milliseconds, the suspect, who had lied in wait, intentionally murdered Frank Harwood, a firefighter for the Kootenai County Fire and Rescue, and John Morrison, a firefighter with the Coeur d'Alene City Fire Department. Those firefighters died instantly and simultaneously. Those firefighters died instantly and simultaneously. At approximately 2:01 p.m., a firefighter from the Northern Lakes Fire Department broadcasted that the location was an active shooter scene and that everybody is shot up here. At this point in time, we're going to show a video that we have put together, and then we will hold any questions till the end.
I couldn't tell you. I have to look at my phone, but I'm on the mountain bike trail at Canfield Mountain. I'm coming down and there's fire. It's pretty hot. Okay. Okay. Right now, the active shooter zone. There's not BT3 down, BT1 down. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, go 3 now up here. Shot fired. Copy, shot fired. That's 2333. 2333. Yeah, two windows, one air, three. Two breakfast, here. One unknown. Everybody's going to hell. However, firefighters don't have accountability. Putting back, the work of right, and with for the children. Bob, do you want to talk? That man push down 100 yards, the man with you. Brian Brook. Brian. We're going to get the Bearcat down the desert. I don't want to push it too far away from it. We have a bunch of identification. I have the bus right now back up ready to Caldwell. You want to closer? Yes, I'm going to John, we'll move closer. Do you have a deputy down? 2 miles away from firefighters. One way of paralyzed, that's our move. Other one's green. 2 signals up. That's the Charlie. We're still in the Eagle for a break. Like everybody was rocking. Look at the fruit station. Hours a day. For a break. Break. Hey, for situational awareness, Male has a high-powered rifle. He shot it at once while we were tracking the medic. Break. He shot us again while we were down, transferring into a patrol car. Break. We are unknown. There's a fifth medic up there that's down. We don't know. We don't believe he's up there, but we're not positive. Fired. There won't be anybody in this, so you're drone.
drawings were found in the park. You can pause it right there. There are many of us that when we interpret this particular drawing, this is fairly accurate depiction of that parking lot, Canfield Mountain. You can see that we have a mountainside here. We see a parking lot area here. We've got hill. He's got what appears to be a shotgun here with glass coming out. Barrel here. There appear to be figures here. The head, arms, legs, singing. And killed that landscaper. Apparently, he had a employee performance issue with his previous employer. This is where that comes from. It's killed that landscaper. And the owner of the company had a lot of things regarding performance. Can you pause it there? So this is a fairly accurate depiction. We interpret this here as he's got himself as the figure, and he puts the pump shotgun front on the ground, the barrel here, and pull the trigger, and see it's free hand on the top, and slide the other one to the trigger area. Sure, where was the drawing? In his apartment on Sherman Avenue. Many of these are still being analyzed. So still working through the process. In 3 weeks. Instagram post. Suspect. Suspect was not born in Russia. Born in California. He had incomplete processing going through. And at the previous meeting, he had 5 local contacts with law enforcement. All very, very much in the game.
Court order to, are we going to have access to the Supreme Court?
They will be available at some point today.
Not available.
I'm not sure. We'll wait to see.
I'm only asking because of the brief time we have to see.
Right. Okay. Pause right here. This was a letter that was found in his truck. I'll read it to you. It says, "Hello, Father. I write this to you in a concerned effort that you may read this in utmost sincerity. Tomorrow I shall go into battle. If I survive it, it will be with utmost dishonor. I bid thee farewell. I hope that you shall live to the fullest extent as you have thus far. I beg that you do not fall into the traps of modern existence with media and other false pleasantries that will plague the minds of individuals today. Propagating that story. You are the outstanding individual, and I wish you the best." That was found in his vehicle. That was at the scene that we had pushed over because in a ravine because we did not want him to We didn't know how many suspects there were. We didn't want them to circle back and get into the vehicle. Like I said, those images are still being analyzed. However, part of my philosophy is very transparent. When I know something, you'll know something. We believe that there's still some parts of this investigation that remain unknown. We are still waiting, or if the investigators as of right now have put a preservation hold on social media accounts. So those take months to obtain. So many of these components we know, some we don't. With that, we'll take some questions. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So it's being described to us that the suspect went into a Coeur d'Alene fire station in May of 2025 and inquired to be a firefighter and had the state of mind that he would be able to start that day. He was told there's a process, that you have a written exam and a physical agility and a background investigation and an oral interview. The contact became agitated and frustrated, and it was described to us as he left there in a very, very frustrated and agitated state. Yes, ma'am.
For those of us that might not know, why were hiring firefighters?
Well, I would love, if I didn't come prepared to ask them if they wanted to speak. A firefighter battalion chief, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a battalion chief is equivalent to a lieutenant on a law enforcement agency. So I don't think it's out of protocol for them to go up to be out there to assess, to see how many resources are likely going to be necessary to develop a strategy. And I'm looking at to develop a strategy of how we're going to attack this fire. So I don't think it would be out of the ordinary for battalion chiefs. Would you concur with what I said, or? Okay, so yes.
Sorry, a couple questions. You saw a brief slide of shotgun.
Yes. There's a pump shotgun, Maverick Model 88.
And then progression, you said the game shot first.
He was shot first.
Was he inside, outside of the vehicle?
He was outside of a vehicle.
Was there any reaction that we know
of? The only thing that we can surmise, and this is based on the evidence at the scene, is that Tisdale was on the passenger side of Coeur d'Alene Fire Battalion Chief's vehicle, on the passenger side, between the extra cab area and where the bed starts. The extra cab area. Okay, so you had extra cab area, and then where the bed starts, the bed of the truck. So that's where he was found.
And Frank and John were inside the vehicle. They were getting shot in the control vehicle?
Yes, and Frank was in the passenger side, and John was on the driver's side. The window was down. However, we believe that the shots were so simultaneously that and the location that they died in similar. Yes.
The drawing suspect shot.
Yes. It is consistent with what we found. Yeah, it's been very consistent.
Sheriff's Department has asked the Spokane County Sheriff's Office to help with helicopter support to helicopters.
Correct.
And I know that Kootenai has access to their own helicopter, which wasn't used for it hasn't been used for a while. Can you give us some update as to why it was not used, and then a timeline about when we will have used that one?
So there, it was down for maintenance at this particular time. However, there was a area of the workman's comp insurance that was identified that we could do better in, we were deficient in. So the attorneys are working out the workman's comp. It should be noted that on that subject, that Kootenai County deputies have been going up with Spokane County helicopters for years. And it was discovered that there's the same workman's comp issue, that they weren't covered because of some sort of a language. So there was language that did not cover them while they were in an aerial event. So we're working on resolving that. So, I saw a hand over here. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, they were interviewed. He's a retired law enforcement officer. And he was interviewed. And it was determined that he had no relationship to the event whatsoever. In the back with a hat. Did you see video? The deputy said that he was taking semi-automatic gunfire. Did you see that? Right. If I said fully automatic, then that was my name. It was semi-automatic. But he described the weapon as a semi-automatic, high-powered weapon. That was the time of the press conference. Where this occurred, I want to say this was about 2:45 or 3 o'clock. So I'm trying to get you information at the 4:30 press conference that happened prior to that. That's prior to that 4:30. So, right? So we get information. Yeah, we're taking automatic gunfire, semi-automatic gunfire, based on the deputies that are out there extracting these victims, extracting our firefighters. They're stating on the radio that we're taking semi-automatic gunfire. We find that again. I'm not quite sure. But I think one of your questions is that your press conference was 30 seconds is still taking. But yeah, so that sounds like 2 hours after the last shot. So that was just informed. That's your information after the action. I'm trying to get up to date information next time. Does that mean that as I'm talking to you, I have a radio in my ear wondering what's going on? No, I'm giving you up to date information what's occurred in the last hour and a half. Or since we created that command post to locate the suspect. I think we're getting into semantics. I don't know what the value of that is. But, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's address this because I'm not quite sure what the importance of this is. But let's just get it done.
We don't.
Great. Hey, for situational awareness, male has a high-powered rifle. He shot it at once while we were tracking the medic. Great. He shot it again while we were down, transferring into a patrol car. Great. We have an unknown. There's a fifth medic up there that's down. We don't know. We don't believe.
Okay, so pause it there, Mark.
We're not.
So are you saying that we should ask that deputy who's up there to verify why he believes it's semi-automatic or high-powered rifle gunfire? Is that what you're expecting us to do? Yeah, I'm talking.
No, I'm saying, I guess, when you said you are still inspired.
I was giving the briefing as to what has occurred for the previous hour and a half since we made that command post. So, yes. It appears that all of the wounds were done by a 1 ounce rifled slug.
And then in the tape that we were playing, there was some rapid semi-automatic fire. That sounded like more rapid than shotgun. Those from there was heavy firing.
Yeah. Yes. So what we hear is yes, we believe that all of those. However, still subject to being analyzed. But we believe that as of right now, that is the deputies returning fire because they thought that they were receiving fire. And we don't ask them what type of fire that they're receiving. They don't need our permission to defend themselves. They don't need our permission to be able to extract 4 civilians, 2 live firefighters, and 2 deceased firefighters. They don't need our permission. Go ahead.
Do you have any indication how many rounds we fired?
It's still under investigation. The suspect fired, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I want 14, 15, but keep in mind where this area is. We have went up there several times, and you've got areas where we know he fired, areas where that is heavily brushed, that we're looking for other rounds, and obviously where the final resting place was.
Yeah. One coming, how many sheriff's fire and police officers fire?
No, I mean I did not get into that.
And then there was also reports of them being up in the green.
I believe not being out there, being at the command post, since he had a history of being an arborist, that maybe there was a threat. However, the location, once you get there and you're on the side of a mountain, you have high ground advantage anyway. Now, Summer, I'm the least IT technology. The question was, what drone technology? I don't know. This was not ours, but that's what we want. That's the one we want right there. But this was not ours. Does anybody know what drone model it was? Was it? Skydio. And that's the one that we want to get. Okay, so Skydio. Yeah. We believe, based on the evidence at the scene, that it was likely within 10 feet. Yeah. Go ahead.
Obviously, we've heard from 911 fire.
you talk about how law enforcement can stage the process and how to enter the city and having that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this particular event did pose some challenges for the deputies that responded on the scene, and having an active shooter in a rural environment that was heavily treed, heavy brush, did pose some significant challenges. The radio transmission from Fritz Wiedenhoff, who was the firefighter that saved a lot of lives that day, he did an outstanding job. And he is the firefighter that you hear saying, everybody turn around, go back down the mountain. He did a great job. So there was a decision made that it had become so dangerous, at such a disadvantage. The deputies knew how that particular road had an S turn and into that parking lot. So there was a decision made to wait for the Bearcat. And then once the Bearcat did arrive, a plan was developed, and we extracted the 2 live firefighters, 4 citizens, and then we extracted the 2 deceased firefighters, and then we went back up there to engage the suspect. I didn't. You can email Lisa if you want, but they were in that general area. Yeah. Right. There was 4 citizens we extracted. I don't know if they were hiking. I don't know if they were on bicycles. I don't know.
Were they broken down?
Yes. Yep.
In the video, there was the Instagram unproposed, and there were some words next to it. Is that a transcription of the video or a different post? The Instagram Hunter video that was the post of Instagram. And the words next to that was called win. I don't know. It wasn't in if not. Right.
So whenever we have a significant event like this, we want to make sure that we responded accordingly. So we'll absolutely are going to review all of our policies and to ensure that we can respond efficiently, safely in the future. And what we know right now, we believe that it was prudent because of the killing fields and the radio transmission that had occurred, that the decision to wait for a Bearcat appears to have been prudent at this time. But we are going to continue to seek some additional information on that.
Reports the paramedics within Plymouth here.
They did an outstanding job.
You talked about the decision.
Yeah, they got on scene and said, "Let's go," and they were not hesitant in wanting to go up there. When they say bus, also is another term for ambulance. So they had no problem in taking those ambulances up there as close as they could to put the people in there. So they did an outstanding job. Yes. You know, you'll have to seek Coroner Johnson on that.
in that regard, was there any physical wounds that you can describe on Roley?
It appears that his wound, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Is the only wound that was there. Yes. Yes. We believe that the contact with Roley was approximately 1:40 p.m. And then we believe that the first shot was about 1:49 p.m. And it was one or half another in milliseconds. Yes.
Another quick question on politics. So when the shots were fired, there was no reports before Fritz went up there to check. Didn't come on the radio. There was no report of shots fired prior to the Fritz going up the hill.
Correct. Yeah. So that's why Fritz went up the hill. That is exactly why. And
You did on radio.
right. And yeah. Okay. What's your question, Kate? No. There was a 22 caliber rifle that was recovered in his vehicle. The suspect legally purchased that weapon. We wouldn't know. Yeah, we wouldn't know. I want you to kind of understand, what's going on. And unless you've never had that metal taste in your mouth, unless you've never had your life flash in front of you, as these deputies and Coeur d'Alene police officers are going up there, they're throwing smoke grenades to be able to conceal themselves as they're putting themselves to extract these two live firefighters. You got smoke from the fire, you got smoke from the smoke grenades, and they're trying to assess all the way around them from a 360-degree angle on where to shoot, what to shoot, where to defend. So, do I know if those police officers and deputy sheriffs knew that he had an arborist background? I don't know if they knew that at the time, but certainly when you're going in there, you're evaluating all the risks, and somebody being in a tree that has high ground is certainly something that should be considered. So those are the things that are occurring when these critical incidents are happening. It's not like in the movies. There's a reaction from our public safety people that are going in there. And so we have to counter, strategize. What are the risks? What are the likely risks? What are the most prominent risks?
Interview something.
Sure.
When they went up, was it deputies and paramedics to go back?
And three deputies, one Coeur d'Alene police officer. I believe another Coeur d'Alene police officer was the driver in the civilian armored vehicle.
They get out, they were blowing smoke.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then did they take rounds as they're throwing smoke?
So the one of the deputies that were on scene who went up there, he did report that was receiving fire.
As they're trying to get to the bottom.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not so sure. He's reporting that he's receiving fire. At what point in time during that extraction? Was it 10 seconds into it, 30 seconds into it? I don't know.
So the progression they give, we get from one CDA police officer to the other, CDA police officer to the driver. The paramedic behind them.
Not yet. Not yet. We want to assess that situation because the geography of it was just very, very high risk.
Do we know how long it before they assess before they can determine?
There was about 22 minutes before the Bearcat arrived, and then proceeded to that parking lot area.
You guys knew at the time this was injury. Was there a worry that you could get to it quickly because of this?
You know, was there radio traffic from Tisdale?
You can find some updates.
Okay. So that will be part of our review of this whole event. I do know that when Fritz said that everybody shot up here, that certainly went out as a broadcast. When Fritz said everybody is shot up here. When Fritz got up to the scene, he thought there was something wrong with the truck, so he thought they were working on the truck, and then he realized that they were not working on the truck. There is some video. I'm sorry. There is some audio. We're being told by the city of Coeur d'Alene that that video is corrupt, but the audio does work. So our investigators are contacting the manufacturer to see if we can uncorrupt it.
And as the coroner put an estimate time staff control,
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask the coroner Johnson. Yes, ma'am.
Going back to John's info from Roley, has
There's really no way to tell. Yeah, it's unknown. Yeah, unknown. The letter, he says tomorrow, so one can assume that that was the day before in the letter. So. We've had communication with family members, and family members describe Roley as their description, not mine, that he was diagnosed with ADHD at an early age and not treated, that he was described as using marijuana up until recently. He had attempted to stop. He moved to the area, what we and they recall, about March of 2024 to the Bonner County, and then came here to Kootenai County, and our interaction started with him about in April of 2024. Not that we're being told. Yes.
Point of clarification for captioning on the what looked like dash cam footage when I think it was firing the approach or you can drive a track.
Yeah, that was a brush truck, and from what I understand, a brush truck is to fight small brush type fires and carries about 1,000 gallons, 800 gallons of water, 400 gallons, about 400 gallons of water, and they're described as a brush truck.
It looked like there was maybe a firefighter or an officer or something walking away from the Ford Ranger.
Yes. That's Dave Tisdale.
So when the brush truck video shows coming into the parking lot, it looks like Roley's truck is the last one in the line.
Yeah.
Tisdale's walking back from Roley, correct?
Yeah, so the truck is originally parked closer to the gate. So firefighter Tisdale goes up and has a conversation. He goes over there and unlocks the gate and opens the gate. John Morrison also arrives on scene, and he says, "Hey, can you move your truck?" The conversation was confrontational in nature, and then he moves the truck. So then he does move the truck from closer to the gate was, and then parks it closer to the BC vehicles. No, you're good.
The video, is that after you moved the truck in?
It may, so the front video could be not before he moved the truck. That was where the truck was at the gate. And so there's a video on the front and video on the back. So he may have moved the vehicle as the brush truck was moving on that road. So then you see the rear video that the truck is moved. Does that make sense? So the brush trucks come up. You have, Mark, can you bring that up again? The brush truck has a video up in front. And you'll see the vehicle, his truck, the black Ford Ranger, that's parked closer to the gate.
So we stop right to Dave Tisdale walking toward him.
Yep.
And that's Roley standing by his truck. And at this point, is that truck been moved, or is that where they were at? Already moved, or where they're asking? Oh, that's nothing. Oh, okay. And we don't know how much longer from this video in the time. 13, 30 minutes. And so maybe 10 minutes later, when the shot fired?
Approximately 10 minutes later, yes.
And do we know who's in the truck?
I don't know, and I didn't. For the purpose of this press conference, I didn't ask who was driving the truck.
But initially, there's only three, right? Dave, Frank. There's additional firefighters on the fire engine. Truck. So they were firefighters up the building all this way? And stay in place, and they had no idea what happened. The event. Yeah.
And you hear Deputy Ballman and Deputy Brock also say, "Hey, we might have other fire personnel up higher on the mountain, but they're not sure yet."
And then at this moment, we know where the other four citizens were on the other. As you can tell from the video, there's citizens all over the top. Yeah, they're hiring.
All right, we're going to take one more question. So go ahead. Correct. No, we're not going to expand on that. So I see some smirks on some people's faces when I answer that. We have children that live in this community of these firefighters. We're not going to get into any details of proximity and what have you. And I said that at the beginning of this press conference. They have children that go to school here. We're not going to answer some of those questions. Okay? Thank you very much. This concludes the press conference.